Hi children, welcome to the class. In the last session, we learned about the early days of C.V. Raman and his keen interest in science, his academic brilliance, and how he secured a job in IFS when he was still a teenager. But he was not yet happy since he wanted to be a scientist and not a mere clerk. Even as Deputy Accountant General, Raman mixed with scientists and took interest in science. Means he found time from his job to mingle with scientists. One day, while returning from his office, he saw a banner outside a building on which was printed the Indian Association of Scientists. At the sight of that banner, Raman got off the moving train and went to meet the scientists who had gathered in that building. Means, one day, while Raman was returning from his office by a train, he happened to see a building with a board, the Indian Association of Scientists. Without a moment's hesitation, he jumped off the moving train just to meet the scientists who have gathered there. What does this incident show? It shows how deeply Raman was interested in science. Sometime later, when he was in Rangoon, Rangoon is currently known as Burma. So, once when Raman was in Burma, he learned that an institution had bought a piece of modern scientific apparatus. Means, Raman happened to know that some institution had bought a modern scientific apparatus. Apparatus means here instrument. What did he do then? Let's see. He hurriedly put on his clothes and went to have a look at it. Such was the interest he had in science. In 1911, Raman was appointed Special Accountant General for Posts and Telegraphs in Calcutta. But when he was offered the post of professor at Calcutta University, he jumped at that offer and accepted the post gladly. Why? Why did he give up the highly paid job of Special Accountant General? Simply because if he became a professor, he could find enough time for his scientific research. After working at Calcutta University for 15 years, he became the director of the Indian Institute of Science in Bengaluru. The Raman Research Institute was started in 1948. Raman resigned his post at the Indian Institute of Science and became the director of the Indian Research Institute. Here, he conducted his research in physics until his death. Raman was a great scientist. Throughout his life, he was intensely means deeply. Throughout his life, he was intensely attached to science. For the sake of science, he gave up the highly paid post of Special Accountant General and accepted a professorship at Calcutta University. He would forget all about food and rest while he was at work, and his wife had to often tell him that his breakfast or coffee was getting cold. Means, while conducting research, he forgot his all surroundings. He forgot even to have timely food and rest. His wife had to keep reminding him to have his food before it became cold. Like all other scientists, Raman had a lot of curiosity. Curiosity means an interest or desire to understand something. To be a scientist, one need to have curiosity to find out new things, need to always keep on asking why, and find an answer to the question. Earlier in his life, while on a voyage means journey, while on a voyage to Europe, he saw the wonderful blue of the Mediterranean Sea. His curiosity began to work. He started asking why. This led to the work on the law of light scattering on liquids, and it ended in his discovery of the Raman effect. He was awarded the Nobel Prize for this in 1930. Raman was a kind man. He helped people when they were in difficulty. When he was working as a deputy accountant general, a villager went to him with some badly burnt 100 rupee notes. Means, that is, a villager came to Raman with some burnt 100 rupees notes to get it exchanged with the new fresh ones or the new ones. Any other person perhaps would have turned the villager away. Normally, the bank officials would ignore such customers since they feel that it is a waste of time. But Raman took pity on the villager, examined the notes himself, and allowed the villager to exchange the burned notes for new ones. But here, Raman was sympathetic to the villager and helped him to exchange the burned notes with the fresh ones. Once at the Raman Research Institute, a candidate was not given admission as he did not do well in his test. When his travelling allowance was paid, the candidate found that he had received more. In some institutions, give travelling allowances so that even financially weaker students can also attend the test. So this candidate was given the amount. When the candidate found that the amount given by the institute was much higher than the actual amount he had spent. He returned to the office to pay back the excess amount. When Raman came to know of this, he liked the candidate's honesty and admitted him to the institute. Means, Raman was impressed by the candidate's honesty. He admitted the candidate even though his marks were not satisfactory. The candidate was not able to make out why he was admitted when he was not done well in his test. When the candidate came to know that, the candidate could not believe his ears. He was wondering how he got the admission even though his marks were not good. It seems Raman told the candidate, "I have admitted you to the institute because of your character. You are not very good at physics, but I can teach you." During his lifetime, Raman received a number of honors and medals. In 1929, he was knighted by King George V and became Sir C.V. Raman. A number of universities honored him with doctorates. He was a member of many international scientific organizations. In 1954, the Government of India awarded him Bharat Ratna. In 1957, the Soviet Union honored him by awarding the International Lenin Prize. Raman died on November 21, 1970 at the age of 82. In his death, India lost one of her great sons and the world a great scientist. Now, here is a chronological order of important dates and events of Raman's life. It will help you to recollect the years. Now, we move on to the question answer session. Question number 1. How long did he work at Calcutta University? Answer. Raman worked for 15 years at Calcutta University. Question number 2. What made Raman give up the highly paid post of Special Accountant General? Answer. Raman was offered the post of professor at Calcutta University. So he gave up the highly paid post of Special Accountant General to follow his interest as a scientist. Question number 3. How did the Soviet Union honor him? Answer. The Soviet Union honored him by awarding the International Lenin Prize. Now, I will give an additional question to test your understanding of the lesson. What are the incidents that shows Raman's interest in science? He used to borrow science books from college students. He is jumping off the moving train to meet scientists. Hurrying to the institute to just see the new scientific apparatus. Accepting the post of professor at Calcutta University. Raman's wife having to remind him to have his breakfast or tea. I have given broad tips. Now you have to convert them into your own words. Now let's learn the differentiate idioms and phrasal verbs. A phrase means a group of words which has one meaning for the individual words and altogether different meaning while taken as a whole. An idiom is a phrase that has a specific meaning which is established by usage different than those of the individual words. For example, break a leg doesn't mean you go and break your leg. It means good luck. For example, it's your first match, break a leg. Piece of cake doesn't mean it's a piece of cake to be eaten. It means very easy. Hit the hay means go to bed. A fish out of water means find oneself in an unfamiliar situation. Phrasal verbs consist of a verb and an adverb or preposition. Example, make up means decide. Put up with means tolerate. Give up means quit. Put on means wear. Make out means understand. Break down means fail to function. If the two words can be understood literally, it is a verb and a preposition. If they have to be taken together with a meaning that has little or nothing to do with the meaning of the verb alone, then it is a phrasal verb. Keeping the above in mind, try and fill up the blanks by choosing the correct phrasal verbs from the brackets. The meaning of those phrasal verbs is already given in the previous slide. Now, we will know when do we have to use add. We have to add s to English verbs. Generally, the conjugations of verbs in the English language is not very complicated. You only need to be careful in the third person singular in the present tenses, which correspond to he, she or it. In this case, an s or es is added to the infinitive form of the verb. Example, to go, to drink, to see. In general, an s is added to verbs in the third person singular, that is he, she or with it. Example, he likes good food. She drinks a lot of coffee. There are also some verbs that receive an es instead of only an s to maintain the correct pronunciation. Example, the man goes home. Sandra does her homework. My brother watches TV every Tuesday. In case a verb ends with a consonant plus y, the y is replaced by ie and an s is added. Example, my husband flies to London every week. The baby cries a lot. Now, keeping this in mind, please read the following exercise. Use walk or walks in the following sentences. My father walks in the evening. You walk too slowly. John walks with his dog. Children are lazy to walk. Your sister is punctual to walk. 20 boys are participating in the competition of brisk walk. His father walks with his friend. By the end of this session, you all might have understood the phrasal verbs, idioms, and conjugation of verbs. Now please try the following assignment. Give negative form of underlined words. Some words have been underlined there. You have to write the negative form of the underlined one. And for that, first one is being done for you. Similarly, complete the remaining ones. So dear children, that's all for the day. Hope you enjoy the class. Thank you.